you started your music?
So well, as all Bengali parents do, I always put into music lessons. I was learning Indian classical music from Srimati Sanjeeta Sharma for the longest time until I finished school. And then while I was in school, I was also participating in many competitions inter-school Western music competitions. So Indian classical and Western music kind of went hand in hand. I was also learning Kathak from Pandit Birju Maharaj. So it was kind of ingrained in me since I was little. So it was obvious that I would go to music college because that's what I thought would be best for me. That's what my parents thought would be best for me. So once I went to college in Berkeley, it was a huge exposure to all the different kinds of music that are in the world. People, like the cream of every single country was there at the college. So we learned not only from our teachers but also from my friends, because it's a different vibe being surrounded by musicians 24/7. You don't even know when you are growing, how you are growing, but by the end of college I realized that I have come quite a long way from where I started before I was in college.
Musically, how much of your learning from your childhood till school leaving influenced you or led you into Berkeley and get into a larger canvas of the world music genre? And what exactly you...
So the transition honestly was very smooth because while I was learning Indian classical, I was listening to a lot of music from the West and around the world because of my brother's playlist. So that was the big influence. And in the inter-school competitions that I went to, we sang stuff like Manhattan Transfer, Alicia Keys, all of that. So I was listening to a lot of that, and without really consciously doing it, I was, there was a lot of influence, like Indian influences. Even when I sing now, even if I sing something Latin, jazz or R&B and stuff, there are some nuances that you will hear or might hear that I hear, which are kind of classical. So, and also when I went to Spain, that was also part of my college. I got a chance to listen to flamenco, got a chance to, I was in an ensemble that played flamenco. So that really hit me, like when my peers were also learning the same kind of music, it was kind of easier for me to adapt to flamenco because there's a lot of nuances that are very similar. Because they say that flamenco came from Indian gypsies all the way around Europe to Spain. So yeah, it's great.
Wherever you traveled, be it Berkeley, learning, being in the middle of world music, musicians, and also traveling all around the world. So essentially what I can understand that you carried your Indian root, Indian music within yourself, and was there a conscious effort from your end to relate, or was it a seamless kind of a mix that you could feel and understand?
It seems quite seamless, honestly, because I mean, at the end of the day, no matter where it's coming from, it is music. It is rooted in the same scales, right? No matter what language you are singing in or who is playing it.
Dum 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 dum. Ergendedo cervendedo etaka pataka na krivile kapaceto etaka pataka. Ergendedo cervendedo etaka pataka na krivile kapaceto etaka pataka. Ergendedo cervendedo etaka dum taka taka pataka na krivile kapaceto etaka pataka na dole etaka pataka. Na krivile kapaceto etaka pataka na dole etaka pataka.
So music has no language.
It
was a hands-on. It was a hands-on kind of a thing. That music has no language.
Yeah.
So you realize it over time.
Yeah.
Everything fine. How much did Berkeley, your stay in Berkeley and your association with Berkeley, your college, enrich your understanding and perspective of music?
So much. So before I went to college, jazz for me was just Ella Fitzgerald and maybe Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
But that is very cliche. There is so much going on, so much else going on, so much so. For example, there's contemporary musicians like Tigran Hamasyan, there's Gretchen Parlato, Esperanza Spalding. Esperanza's actually graduated from Berkeley. So it's great to have someone like that and brag about being like her being my senior or something like that. So anyway, and of course, like as a student in a music college, we got to like we got discounted tickets or free tickets to watch like legends play.
And also legends come over to the college for
for workshops,
sessions,
etc. So it was, of course, it was so great.
Yeah.
I would so even my entire perspective of how I look at music, how it sounds to me, and how I accept music from different parts. Like, you know, there's this, people get this elitist attitude sometimes about, oh, pop has nothing, it's just four chords. But if it's making you feel something, there is something in it, no matter what it is. So it kind of gave me that perspective that, okay, just have an open mind. There's a huge world out there, huge world of music. So there's some good in everything.
When you came back to India, how has been your journey in India, in the musical journey in India?
It's been really quick and great.
There are circumstances where musicians need to come up with their music, their lyrics and everything to place their protest, something which they don't like to happen in the society. So what would be your views on that?
So I was speaking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago. He was saying, he asked the same question, when did music become unrelated to society? And that really made me think, because up until very recently, music was about rebellion. So even people like Nina Simone, people like in Nirvana, all of these artists, it was about rebellion. Up until very recently, it has become kind of about not much except talking about how great you look and how I want to dance with you, which is great.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think as a musician, as an artist, it is your job to address those issues and to the best of your ability, and hopefully people will react. And I think, I mean, protest music or even physically protesting against such things, or even just speaking up. If you are a musician, people have heard you. You are sort of like a social person, right? So if you just speak up about it, I think people will listen.
Particular genre that you are into has its root in protest,
Right.
social protest.
Of course.
So it doesn't remain at the level of just music or melody or a good rendition. It also has a very, very, very strong undercurrent of talking about something which is not making you happy in the society. So I'm sure you also have the same feeling from inside when you write your lyrics or put it into a jazz tune.
Yeah.
See, jazz tune doesn't remain a jazz tune per se, just because jazz tune is something like this. This is the structure. So
I think when I write my own music, I don't think about, hey, what kind of genre is it gonna fit into. It's just something that comes from within. Sometimes it's about what I'm feeling. Sometimes it's about what I see in front of me or what's happening. It doesn't necessarily have to be put into a genre, I think.
okay,
It's hard that way.
okay. How much of Tagore is in you, or how much have you heard of him, or
I've heard a lot about him, of course.
his songs?
And unfortunately, my parents haven't been big on Robindra Sangeet.
Okay.
At all. Also, my dad, he has recited some of his poetry whenever he gets the chance. There's a certain section of it which I really like, but I haven't had the chance, honestly,
To get into it
to get
more.
into it too much.
Oh, to get into it. Fine. Okay.
Do you know how it hurts to let go of you? You said you didn't sleep a wink last night.
now that you are basically traveling from one metro to the other, collaborating with the local musicians for your gigs, etc. And now you are in Kolkata, rehearsing for your gig tomorrow. In terms of the musicians, the comfort level of the musicians and the efficiency of the musicians, how do you rate the musicians in Kolkata? I don't know. It's not a comparative study or whatever. I mean, just curiosity. Since you've been working with so many musicians from all across the metros, I'm just wondering to know. I mean, how you feel like working with the musicians out here.
So over here, the first person that I knew from here was Paddy Pradyumna. He plays keys. He has a music school here. Of course, he's super dedicated to what he does. Then there's Emmanuel, who's from France but based in Kolkata. Then there's Bijit and Premjit. Fantastic musicians. I love playing with them. So, but they are the only actual musicians that I know. Well, there's a few more people that I met because of that video, the FNO video. They messaged me, Somalia, Soham. So, it's really great. They really want to get the music out there. I just wish there were more platforms in this city itself to get the music out to the masses, because it is kind of a struggle for people from Kolkata to play their music in the city itself, so they have to travel. But fantastic, dedicated musicians, really love their art. But musicians don't matter where they come from. It's always great.
Yeah, and in your this short, quick journey to the kind of stardom that you are in now at this point of time, whatever, I mean, where you would like to see it. Do you think? Have you experienced the kind of respect an artist would like to have from people around? What would be your take on that? I mean, you've been traveling, you've been interacting, you've been collaborating, etc. Even with your audience.
So I would like to believe that I'm quite friendly with the musicians that I'm playing with and the audience that I'm playing for. So I treat everyone with equal amounts of respect, and I would of course expect the same from them. Sometimes, maybe because I'm slightly younger than most of the people who are in the scene, people might take me for like a slight bit of a baby or something. But I think at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how old you are or where you come from. It depends on the music that you're making. Also, as a woman who's fronting a band, because I am a singer, I happen to be a front woman no matter which band I'm playing with. Sometimes men especially can be a little bit too upfront, too in your face. I think that needs to go. But what you can do from your side is address it instead of, just being super gullible to it. So, yes, as I think you need to command respect. You can't expect people to just respect you. But not just command respect, but also be nice to people around you, and they will be the same with you, I think.
Okay. Just in the jazz genre, who one person that you actually overall, I mean there are many, I know, but one person who has been your inspiration, if you can just name one.
I think it has to be Esperanza Spalding,
R&B,
Aretha Franklin, yeah.
And in terms of the Indian music scenario, who is the performer, singer that you would love to listen to?
Well, there's too many. So
yeah, you can always name a couple of them.
Yeah, I heard Shadow and Light the other day. I heard Pakshi. There's When Chai Met Toast. There are individual musicians, Bhanu Mendiratta. There is, I'm just gonna name all my friends now.
No, that's fine. I mean.
But yeah, there's too many people who I love listening to. There's Lucia, she's a brilliant singer. Vasundhara, she is a brilliant singer.
And what about Indian music? The artists who perform or sing Indian
music. Well, I really loved what Shadow and Light did. They are actually singing in multiple Indian languages, and it's kind of like a very great fusion of Indian music with Western. So is Pakshi. I think they're doing a great job.
And when do we get to see you in Kolkata in a proper structured gig and a concert?
Definitely in March. So that's when I'm planning a tour of multiple cities in the country to promote my upcoming EP. It's called Yatra. So yeah, I hope it's a yatra around the country. Dum 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 dum, etaka dum taka taka dum.